Good morning, everybody. Valerie Ling here. I thought I would come and say hello to you 5 minutes before what is one of the most exciting times of the week for me. I feel, exciting is a word that's really quite overused in social media, but I genuinely can tell you that I'm excited. If you have actually been following me on social media, this week particularly, you would have been seeing that I'm actually still recovering from some strange energy depletion that has left me looking weary and feeling weary and trying to figure out. But this is a group. They're my private practice leadership accelerators who have been working with me mostly since May last year, so not even a year. And I love working with this group. They're all private practice owners of a variety of disciplines. So they're not all psychologists. They've all joined the accelerator at about the point where, sorry, I'm just making my coffee while I'm doing this, where their businesses were kind of in the middling six figures, $300,000 to $600,000, which if you own a health business, you might think, oh man, why are these guys all about the money? But actually, there are stages to business growth, and before you can really extract yourself out as an owner and have some freedom and to breathe, you really have to hit a certain capital. I learned this, I actually didn't know, it was through the kindness of a mentor that I have who has multiple businesses. At the time when I was actually taking a sabbatical, guys, gotta show you. I'm really into buying the small beans, packs of beans now when they're on offer. We have a machine and just makes the best cup of coffee. Yeah, so I learned this from when I was planning to take my sabbatical 2 years ago, and was talking it through with a mentor and, just trying to extract myself from the private practice. And we talked about team size and what is actually the revenue that you need for the team size, but also at which point does your business have enough capital so that you can start and invest in some things. Like typically between the 3 to 600, your profit margins are probably zero. If you've been very diligent in the way that you've been managing your finances, you might get up to 5%. But if you look at that, oops, I made a mistake with my coffee. Redo. Don't do that with your business. Do not make foundational mistakes and then have to chuck it out. This is what we're trying to avoid. So at that level, say 3 to 500, if you think about it, a profit margin really of only 4 to 5% is really only $30,000, which is not even the salary of one full-time equivalent administrative staff. Most private practices, health businesses, at that level of income are earning most of it. So the principal is usually earning about 250,000 of that. So they've got no time to pull back and think strategically about how they're going to get themselves sufficient administrative team, not just to cover their work, but to cover their team, and also the management functions, who's going to do bookkeeping and payroll and make sure that your HR and your compliance and all of that is happening. So typically, and this is what I found, when you hit that point, you're really exhausted because you're doing everything. You can't afford to get any help. If you're making a profit of about 30 to 50,000 a year, you want to also hang on to that and build a buffer, because another mistake I learned is when consumer behavior fluctuates because of all kinds of things and you don't have enough buffer, you really worry. And then what the principal does to cover up for cancellations and fee fluctuations is that they work more. One miserable banana. It's grocery day today as well. And folks, that ain't gonna sustain you. So there's a real need, actually, I have to say, it's a real priority to therefore reduce your work in the business and increase your capital so that you've actually got some margins for a buffer and margins to employ more support staff. So typically our accelerators have come in at that point, and pleased to say they've all surpassed, and they're heading towards the seven-figure. Why I call it freedom, it's not so that you can be a greedy business owner, but you've got some capital, people, to actually put, looking for my computer, capital to put away for a buffer, confidence that you won't have to do more if hard times come, fluctuations in bookings, and you can actually afford to start playing with the ratio of practitioners to administrative support. Those three things I put in the topic, that's what we're dealing with now. They've passed that hustle phase and started on their capital. They've been following the strategy for the year so that they can get to the stability point in May, and all doing really well, such that they've got the mind space to think about some broader organizational things, and they're doing it without burning out, because I am big on that. Do not burn out when you're doing this. So lots of practices and disciplines that have been put into the roadmap strategy. And so I love doing this work with them. I don't know how long I'll do this, really. I will keep working with these people for as long as they want to work with me. But I just love seeing that it's only March and they've got the capital, financial, team, as well as personal resources to not only go the distance, but give their very best for their growing team and for the growing needs that the team have and to serve their clients. Gotta go now. See ya.